Jamaica is a beautiful country, but over decades it has garnered stigma from international communities. The question that one may ask, why has the US and other major countries such as England and Canada blacklisted Jamaica? Here are the dark truths, majority of which has been hidden from you for many years now by your government. Let's dive back into the past. The great country of England granted Jamaica its independence on the basis that the newly formed political parties had the citizens' best interest at heart and a modern developed society could be formed. Obviously, they failed miserably for decades, especially after the infiltration of the US government with implementation of the banking system and construction of the ghettos. That was the last straw for the British wealthy heads who fled with all their monies and valuable assets that were holding up the country's economy. I distinctly recall in the mid-1990s under the rulership of then Prime Minister P.J. Patterson when England offered Jamaica a handout of its struggle by not only building schools to accommodate the influx of children but to reform the country's education system. What does that mean? Well, that means that Jamaican children could grow with equivalent intelligence as their white counterparts. Let me say it again. Jamaican children could receive the equal quality of education to that of their British slave master. Isn't that powerful? Isn't that a kind gesture from England? Yes, it is. In addition, England also wanted to put a damper on Jamaica's rising crime with larger prison to rid the streets of major criminals and lessen the corrupt politician hold over them. These efforts were widely rejected. Those contributions would have had Jamaica in a leading position today. Our currency would be equivalent to the English pound. Jamaicans could travel freely to and from England, and best of all, our economy and people would not be struggling today, including those in the diaspora. From first-hand experiences, I realized that we are not only facing backlash from major countries, but also from our Caribbean neighbors as well. They admit that throughout their history, they were taught to hate us, and were told that all the mad rebellious slaves were sent to Jamaica because of their aggressive nature and refusal to conform to slavery. Sadly, Jamaicans have become victims to their own power, as the former Prime Minister Michael Manley once admitted that Jamaicans failed because they were taught to be victims of slavery and no longer victors. Jamaica no longer fight for their freedom against struggle, but to conform and fight each other for politician delight. That is why our music, movies and persona are violent and graphic, because we no longer have a purpose. We're just rebels without a cause. Let me share a little experience with you at first hand. Going to a private university here in Jamaica with students from Bahamas, Barbados, St. Kitts, the hate for Jamaicans is real. When they come to Jamaica, they unite and avoid the locals as much as possible. Jamaica is not truly hated for its homophobic and violent riddle society. Don't be fooled. Those claims are just laughable excuses. The real reason for Jamaican being blacklisted is because its people, even those in the diaspora, still suffer from mental slavery. Imagine something so simple causing a great nation to lack development, sponsorship, and other opportunities. Because of this bondage, no one wants us in their country. Jamaicans are so broken mentally that morals and culture have been disregarded to follow white man's trends of looseness, further breeding self-hatred, anything back no good, When they go to major countries, they don't strive to become anything apart from being homeless, living under a bridge, or going there to rape, rob, and kill because they believe white people owe them something. Instead of embracing their own Jamaicans, they trample them and cry shame. They don't unite, they scorn and trash talk each other. If we are of no value to our own kind, then we are of no value to our next man's country. Just remember that. and get it in your head.
Thus giving other countries leverage to imprison and deport us, restrict our visas, and will one day leave us behind. We are no longer the empowered people of the past that fought for our freedom, that the whites respected. We even deny our African roots, even tricking ourselves that Jamaicans are better than those from the motherland. We are like lamb to a slaughter, mentally whipped and manipulated by our governments. We have no self, no mind, and therefore no future. Jamaicans suffers in every aspect of life. In Jamaica, and yet still they live outside their means, just for the chance to berate another. That is not progress, but a sign of crab in a barrel mentality. Look closely at how the other Caribbean countries are treated with respect. Don't they have crime and violence too? But yet, still they are the jewels of the Caribbean. They get the investment, the protection, the booming economies, the currency, and the travel freedom. What is the difference between them and Jamaica? The free minds that allow them to select all the good deals that we reject and avoid selling out their countries for blind greed. They accept themselves, keep their culture, and remain united. They prosper when they become diasporas, not in prison or deported like us Jamaicans. They do not fail like Jamaicans. Everyone is tired of this nation, as we are just a few stones short from becoming 80. Except when that time comes, not even asylum will be available to Jamaicans. But fret not, all hope is not lost. As the Governor General, who is no longer serve any purpose, once said, "There's nothing wrong with Jamaica that cannot be fixed by what is right with Jamaica." And that's a quote. It is time to actively create the Jamaica that we want to see, not only by restoring brotherly love and showing compassion to each other, but to stand and fight again with the Talawa spirit against crime, unfair government policies, and self-hate. It's up to each individual. Out of many, we are one. Just remember that. Stay strong, Jamaicans.